What I would really like to hear, and for myself,
Yeah.
and understand is like the suffering part.
Yeah.
Like I suffer, to be honest. Like I don't know if it's daily or weekly or
Right.
it just varies. It's not like on a schedule or something.
Right.
But I do have anxiety. I do feel fear.
Right.
I do feel like sometimes my mind is like just controlling
Out of
my
control,
life.
totally.
What can I do really to be free from that?
We say we can look at self-inquiry. Ramana Maharshi, probably the sage of the 20th century, said just look for the I, just to ask, who am I? Over and over and over and over again. Western philosophy, only one or two people ever even looked at the possibility of questioning the I. Eastern folks did it.
Just
Where am I?
during like meditate and just like on that kind of make that my mantra kind of thing.
Yeah. Not a mantra though, not a mantra. What we're trying to do is get really curious.
Is it simple enough to say, like, if we don't want to feel suffering, to just don't do things that make us suffer?
Oh, but even more fundamental than that, it's saying, okay, let's just deconstruct the sufferer. If we don't have the sufferer, there's no suffering. There are an infinite number of pleasures and possibilities and desires and thoughts, but there's only one I, because it's there in every thought, every desire, every lack, there's an I there. And if you just keep going after that I, don't get sucked into stories, just keep going back into, what is this I? Where is this I? When I ask, where is James? Oh, James is sitting here. No, well, really, where is James, though? Well, James is someplace in here. No, he's not, though. And you keep watching, keep asking, where is James? And you find out that, in fact, James isn't a real thing. Every time James meets somebody, a different person, if you talk to Mark, or if you talk to, Anna, there's a different James shows up for those two situations. You watch carefully, you can see there are two different Jameses there. And if you watch yourself in the course of a day, you can see lots of Jameses. What's the deal here? How important can James be if he's got all this, whole pack of them? Which one do we believe is real? If you put yourself in a scanner, you can look at your brain, you can say, hold it. We can't find James anyplace. We can find lots of Jameses, but James is just an ad hoc entity created as waves of energy sweep across the cortex. Scientifically, we can show you there is no James there.
So according to all that stuff, who is James? Who am I, then?
Well, that's the question. You're only now. 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 You aren't becoming now. You are only now. There is no past. There's only this very moment. Being. Not, I will be present now. No, you are only there. Only beingness. There's no one being. There's just beingness.
It's difficult not to evaluate the experience almost aesthetically, if you know what I mean. Not to think, even having the idea of a good meditation. They're always telling you, there's no such thing as good meditation, aren't they? But you sort of, I know what I want. I want cessation of self. I want, bliss. There was nothingness for a while. Because on some level, we know, I've put this thing together. It's not really who I am. You stare too long in a mirror, you freak yourself out, whether you're on acid or not. And it gets to a point where you think, who's looking back at me now? Who is that? Where is the distinction?
This is the process of self-inquiry. I would start by asking, tell me about yourself. And chances are the person would start with something like, I'm a school teacher. And straight away I would say, no, you haven't always been a school teacher, and you probably won't always be a school teacher. So I want to know about yourself. Can you tell me about yourself? So then the person might say, oh, well, I'm 34 years old. Again, I would comment, well, you haven't always been 34 years. You were still yourself when you were 13 years old. So yourself cannot have any particular age. So I'm presuming, of course, that the person understands this. It's very easy to understand. Nothing extraordinary, nothing mystical, nothing spiritual. Just inviting the person to go deeper and deeper into their sense of themselves, the sense of their being, what they've called I all their life. The person may then refer to some bodily sensation. Again, I would point out that our bodily sensations change innumerable times throughout the day, let alone throughout our lives. So no actual experience of the body is inherent. To begin with, they would describe thoughts and feelings and activities, but as the conversation went on, there would be longer and longer periods of silence as they tried to find something in their own experience which they could say, this is with me when I'm dreaming, it's with me when I'm deeply asleep, it's with me whatever I'm feeling, it's with me at whatever age I've been, in whatever circumstance I find myself. So they would begin to struggle to put a name to that. What is it in our experience that qualifies as I? Obviously no thought, no feeling, no bodily sensation, no activity, no relationship qualifies as I, because these are continually leaving us and reappearing and leaving us. So the self-inquiry begins by tracing back of the attention. I'm not my thoughts. I am that which is aware of my thoughts. I'm not my feelings. I'm that which is aware of my feelings. We trace our way back until we get simply to that which I am. The only element that remains with us all the time is our essential being, or our essential self-aware being. And at some point there is this recognition, I am pure awareness. That is the recognition of our true nature. And we've lost touch in most cases with our essential self, which is not a thought or a feeling, an activity or relationship, and is above all inherently peaceful and unconditionally fulfilled. In other words, it is the place in us of peace and happiness. But most of us have overlooked that or forgotten it in favor of the objective content of our experience.
A grande maioria das pessoas encontram-se completamente amortecidas, né? Anestesiadas em relação ao vazio existencial, em relação às suas dores. Elas se anestesiam com comida, sexo, dinheiro, com uma série de vícios. Então, tomar consciência do tédio, tomar consciência da insatisfação é o início dessa transformação. Muitas vezes, sintomas como esses tá mostrando o início de uma desconstrução do falso eu, né? Então, o falso eu está se sentindo ameaçado. Daí a ansiedade, daí a depressão, daí o pânico. Então, é a mentira se desfazendo, é a máscara caindo. Porque o ser não sofre, né? O ser está em graça, em bem-aventurança. Existência, consciência, bem-aventurança. Está irradiando amor, né? Luz. Quem está sofrendo é a máscara, que está desesperada porque ela está se rompendo, está perdendo o controle do jogo. E essa máscara que está se quebrando é o principal instrumento do ego.
So is suffering kind of an illusion?
Ah, yes. Very good. Very good. Very good. Então, existe uma dor que é inevitável, porque faz parte desse processo de ruptura, né? Mas, quando você atravessa, você descobre que ela é somente um sintoma do corpo ilusório. It's not real.
But it feels so real. It feels real.
Parece.
It's a tricky...
Yes, yes. Por conta da identificação da mente. A mente está tão identificada com o pensamento que ela acredita que é real. Assim como quando você está tendo um pesadelo de noite, tendo um pesadelo terrível, não parece que é real? Você não fica desesperado? Mesma coisa. Quando você acorda do pesadelo, não está tudo bem? Né? Que alívio. Era só um sonho. A escuridão não tem existência real. É só a ausência da luz. É só a ausência da presença. A ausência da luz do ser.
So by separating, by cultivating silence and self-investigation, those are the ways to disconnect from the mind? Are those the ways to bypass the mind, to disidentify with the mind?
Yes. This is the main goal. O principal objetivo é se desidentificar da mente que pensa compulsivamente. Hoje, a nossa mente está no controle da nossa vida. Você não para de pensar na hora que você quer. Você é tomado pelo pensamento. Então, essa prática de autoinvestigação e de cultivo do silêncio faz com que você tome as rédeas da mente nas suas mãos. Isso é liberdade. Isso é liberdade. A desordem principal do ego é esse apego, à necessidade do controle. Então, por isso que eu digo que autorrealização é basicamente desapego. É aprender a deixar ir. Essa aceitação do fluxo da vida só é possível aqui e agora. Então, o trabalho do buscador é conseguir estabilizar a consciência no momento presente. Aceitando o fluxo.
I was just in India not too long ago, and I was studying with an amazing kind of guru, spiritual teacher, and we were having an incredible chat. And he said, at one point during the talk, I kind of realized, like with suffering and this I, or the ego and separation, it kind of was understood by me that it's an illusion. But like I understood it on one level, but when I'm having like an anxiety attack or I'm
not enough.
It's like, this doesn't feel like an illusion to me. I can't breathe. Like if this is fake, so I feel still a little bit confused about it.
If James has bad thoughts, problematic anxiety, fear, traumatic thoughts, then there's, that's one kind of a thought. You can feel the difference. You can feel that one, and you can feel, I think we should shoot this afternoon, or this morning, or tomorrow. That's a different thought from, oh my God, this is a horrible fiasco. This is a terrible thing. My one business is failing. It's going to blah, blah, blah. Those feel differently.
So are those thoughts the suffering, the ones that cause the problems? Is that maybe your definition of suffering?
That's it. If these kind of thoughts are quiet, and most people, 99% of their thoughts are these kind of thoughts, the bad thoughts. And so if you can quiet those down, you gain a huge amount of bandwidth. The whole thing is, now this thing is quiet in here. There's just nothing going on, just quiet.
And do you feel like you still suffer from those things at all? Anxiety, fear, separation, all the things that you're talking about?
No.
So you don't feel like you suffer at all in life? Do you like know how you did it, or?
I went into self-inquiry, inquiring who you are, what you are. And it worked. You watch your thoughts, you could watch your thoughts, and you could see all that taking place. They all had an I in them. Part of this stuff that I do, this practice, is getting rid of your attachments, because the attachments really generate the I. They work together. I want this green tea. I have to have the green tea. If I don't, oh my gosh, that's terrible. So you just deconstruct all of those attachments. And so that drives you forward, because as you start to take apart James, you find a lot of resistance. There's a lot of James stories about this and that, a lot of old memories, a lot of old traumas, and you won't, there's ways to push through those, to look at them and say, where's the James in this one? You look at your attachments, and what's attachment to that? There's a James there attached to the car, or the reputation, or the story, whatever. And you say, well, those are all parts of James. You can break all those down. But you've got to decide, hey, this is serious. I can't just buy another car, get another girlfriend, get more drugs, rock and roll. I've got to somehow fix this thing. I'm responsible for this mess. Everyone has to feel that and change. If they don't change, the ship sinks. Titanic goes down.
How do we fix it?
If you first begin to recognize, look, I don't need to suffer. I said, fuck it, pardon my French, fuck it. I don't want to suffer anymore. I'm done suffering. This has to stop. Do you need to suffer?
No.
Okay, because that's an important part. When you get to that point, then you'll do anything to get free. But it needs to get there.
I guess I think I'm at that point.
How much are you willing to surrender? Accept, let go, and word unused, but we don't like to use the word surrender. But to me, it came down to when I totally surrendered. I was totally held. Totally. Completely. I have no sense of doing anything.